My guy, I literally did your entire reading. Recorded it too, but the mic wasn't on. I'm heartbroken. I'm cheesed because it was a good reading. Food. But anyways, do it again. So with your first house, you're having Pluto there conjuncting your ascendant. Right off the bat, you have this enormous energy that you wear, that it is on the surface, and it is your perspective of things. It's your moral system. Your higher mind kind of like bathes your physical presence. Or your physical presence oozes that energy. Through looking at you, you would know your beliefs type thing, or people would feel or just get that energy through just looking at you. They can see that your mind is more expanded, that you're not stuck in a box, that you are something, that they are looking at things in ways that they don't understand, or that you have a certain type of wisdom to you, that you're into things that they're not aware of, that you've been places that they haven't been. They can already see that you come from somewhere else. They can see that. And then Pluto being conjuncted with you, this you have a very transformative reality, personality. You make people confront their limited views within themselves, by showing them, when people see you, you know they're just looking at you, they didn't even talk to you, they start wondering, oh, where's this guy from, what is that, what is he wearing, is that a crystal or something like that, or is he African? Is it racist to think that he's African? Or a whole bunch of questions gonna start coming up in your mind, and all of these things that they don't know, just even the fact that they're flustered, and the way that you made them feel is making them already question the knowledge that they have possessed, and you didn't even open your mouth. That's the kind of energy that you bring to, when you come into a room. And then once you start talking about the things that you're personally interested into, once they get a glimpse of your vision, how you perceive reality, it's like a portal opener. It gets them in touch with the memories that they maybe once have left behind. Great transformer. And depending on the person, that could be positive or negative. Or you might get a lot of resistance in that energy. And then the Pluto's in the 12th house, which is Pisces energy, which is the feminine side of Jupiter, which is the counterpart for Sagittarius. So your vision, the feeling that you go by, other people can feel it. Basically, with it being in the 12th house, because that's what Pisces is. It's the vibe. It's how the emotional pool that we're all in, and having Pluto there, it's also your subconscious. So not only do you tweak and pick the subconscious of other people, your own subconscious is what what you're dressed up in. You present yourself like this based upon your experiences, the wisdom that you project. And that's interesting. Saying that, being said, with Sagittarius being there and that alignment representing that, you have Jupiter in your third house, which is the planet of luck and higher education, your moral system. That's the university. And the third house is early education. That's your immediate surroundings, your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your close friends, your neighborhood, where you grew up, and the environment that you're engulfed in at a young age. Jupiter being there, a lot of your wisdom, or what allowed or opened the way for you to grow, for you to truly expand, and to have this broad perspective that people see and are transformed by being in your first house. They Your Jupiter being in Aquarius, is all of those early experiences is what allowed you to develop such a individual mind, for you to have knowledge that you've gained and being able to fix on them. You have the freedom to have your own mind and to think of things the way that you wanted to think, and have your own individual way of organizing your thoughts, or of how you learned. You decided what you learned. You weren't really forced to learn that, or the things that you were forced to learn allowed you to learn more. And this is what makes you unique as an individual, with Uranus being there in there too, and Aquarius. This is what makes you a unique individual, and what the knowledge that you have is tailored based upon this upbringing that you had, based upon the things that you learned at a young age, based upon the things that you were surrounded by in your immediate environment, the places that you have been, is what allowed you to have this transformative personality. And then we've already kind of talked about Neptune in the second house in Capricorn. But with all of this energy in Capricorn, it's probably just you're seeing the things that you have and the structure that they play. Right now you're probably looking at things, like everything's being destroyed, and you're probably thinking like, fuck, why don't I have a garden? Because I don't know if this food supply chain is going to be around for long, or that I can depend on them to give me the healthy food that I want. You're kind of looking at these things, or you're seeing all of these things with all of this energy in Capricorn. But this is where you embed your imagination, your creativity. This is where you're able to draw on the a less physical realm, when you're thinking of the blueprint of things, when you're thinking of the possibilities of what things could be, of what things that you have, your material possessions, what they could represent, what they could bring you. And this is how you kind of look at things. That's where you can get dreamy, when you're looking at the structure of the things that you need in your life. You get creative with that, and can also get delusional about stuff like that, because you may think that you need a specific thing that you don't need. You may be imagining it working out a way that it may not logically work. So you might get blinded in that aspect. So especially now with all of this energy in Capricorn, you may think that you need a specific thing, that this thing provides you security, but a lot of that may be imaginary. Or on the positive side, right now you're seeing a lot of like visions of how things could be, of how you can now build a new reality, and you're kind of open and to structuring things differently, or putting your own hand into structuring the things that you have, taking more of an independent imaginative approach, using your own dreams. And then fifth house is stacked. Yeah, I got a stacked ass fifth house, my guy. Look at all of this. It's crazy. But yeah, Saturn in Aries, right off the bat, that being in the fifth house, how you entertain yourself, the things that you are able to creatively express yourself through, the things that you like to do, that you can get romantic or add a lot of energy to, what you can really put your focus onto, is breaking boundaries. With Saturn being in Aries, is being a leader. The things that is holding you back from doing the things that you want to do, you look at surpassing these boundaries as something fun to do. You look at it as that's how you entertain yourself, seeing how far you can go, seeing how far you can push things. And then on the negative side, this is also be how Saturn treats you, or Saturn comes at you, because it could be trying to make you like sit your ass down type shit. It's like grandpa. You're like, the little kid running around, and grandpa's just all grumpy and miserable from his life, and he's like, shut the fuck up, stop playing, stop having a good time, stop exercising and using your body, like shut up and be quiet and sit there and take in this miserableness with me. That's what reality is going to be trying to throw at you, and it's up to you to sustain that fire within you. It's up to you to keep on testing those boundaries, keep on pushing them. And with you got your sun there too, but it's very late degrees Aries. You're like 0.70 degrees away from being a Taurus. Literally, probably a matter of hours, probably like half a day away from being a Taurus type shit. A day or two, probably half a day, to be honest. Wait, 1 degree is a day. So yeah, that's literally less than a day. Yeah, 1 degree is a day. Wow. When you realize your whole reality structure on the start. But anyways, this is your world perspective. So yeah, this is where you're putting your focus onto your boundaries, the things that are limiting you from creating the type of reality that you seek, the things that are stopping you from connecting with reality. It being the things that are stopping you from getting back to source, from getting back to your true individualistic nature. This is where your eyes are on. Your eyes are on your main enemy, and this is probably your strong suit. You're able to pick out the things that are blocking you. Other people, that's a valuable skill that a lot of people don't have. They don't know what is blocking them. They don't know the boundaries that they're supposed to go against. They low-key know, but this is not where their attention is. It's somewhere behind subconscious. They buried it. This is on the surface. This is what you shine your light on. You look at these things that are stopping you from giving birth, from being your one individualistic self, from you just being able to express yourself freely. Always know who your enemy is, type of shit. You'll always know who your enemy is. And it almost being on the Taurus side, you have a real practicality to it, or I would say it gives you more patience because you're leaning on Taurus. You can see already that this impulsiveness needs to be sustained, or that it's leading to stability, to the need of stability. If you're going to express this energy, you're going to have some security. You're going to have something that's going to refuel you. You're going to have to take care of your body. If you're going to act out this primal force, you're going to have to take care of yourself, so you have the patience. You know when to not exert too much energy, or it's at least easier for you, especially because you have all of this earth energy. All of your planets is nearly, look at this, you have no water, none, my guy. Nigga knows how no one feels. You don't know how nobody feels, and you don't give a fuck. Oh shit. And you don't give a fuck. Virgo is the closest thing that you have to water. It'd be immutable earth. That's the closest way you can relate to people, by what makes sense. Their emotions and shit like that, you don't understand that. You don't know. That doesn't make sense to you. But what you guys can come along is what makes sense, Like, I seen a video of young Pharaoh saying that shit too, talking about how I don't agree with everything, like the right side does, or that patriotic white people be doing, but especially now that the conservative side is the ones that are speaking sense, and the leftists, the Democrats, are the delusional ones, the ones that are saying kill all the babies and type shit, and be gender fluid and destroy up the family type shit. Conservatives are the ones that are saying, hey, stop fucking raping the children and kidnapping children. So young Pharaoh is like, like we may have those differences, but those white patriots, we can agree on these babies. We can blast these guys' ashes because of these babies, because that makes sense to everybody. So you kind of have that energy. That's how you're able to relate to people. It's like, you don't know, you're not trying to understand or empathize with whatever is making them feel the way. You got your own shit. You have your own things, that your own spiritual system that you use. But yeah, and Venus being in Taurus too. You have it at home. So um I say you're a lucky Aries. To be a late degree Aries, I say is lucky because the sun's already exalted in there. So Aries is just typically going to burn out because of that exaltation. And because it being in the fifth house too, that's how you creatively express yourself. So it's probably, you still burn out, or you can still burn out and probably do often, but you have that boundaries, or you understand you're not going to let it get to your body, or let it get to that point where it starts affecting things, or you feel less energized, or you're not going to overexert your mind or doing specific things. If it's taking up time, you're not allowed to go and work out. You're not allowed to eat good food or something like that. You're not allowed to like get in your body. If you're all in your head, you're gonna need that time to get into your body, and you have a sense of how to do that, or like that meter in your head that you don't, like, you may go close to empty, but you always refill on gas. You never let it get to right empty. You let it get close, but you never let it get to empty type shit. But yeah, Venus and Taurus. So you value being able to express yourself in these ways, or you're entertained by your body. The body fascinates you. The material world around you fascinates you. Being strong and stable, things that are forever lasting, things that have standed the test of time, fascinates you, and you're able to appreciate these things, and you're able to appreciate longevity, because what Taurus is the Hierophant, which is like the fucking priest, which it just really represents spiritual values. This time-honored tradition. It's tradition. Taurus is about tradition. You appreciate tradition, and you're able to you see that as a form to express yourself. So, albeit you have this Saturn energy and you're breaking your boundaries, so whatever boundaries this traditions have, you're going to overcome them or bash those boundaries, but you like the idea or the principle of them, but you're just going to perfect them with all of this energy in Virgo. And that's your destiny. You have your North Node. Wait, is that your North Node? Your true node? Yeah, that's your destiny. That's what your North Node is. It's cray. But yeah, so it all stems on how the things that you're entertained by, the things that gave you that creative spark, like when you're working out and when you're tending to your body, when you're in your body and you're feeling the emotion, really feeling things. Like, you're not going to believe it with Mercury in Taurus. You're not going to even allow it to come into your mind. You're not going to let it possess your thoughts if you've never touched it, if you never tasted it, unless you experienced it firsthand. We're able to see its function within your life, to see what it would be able to provide you. If you don't know this information, nobody's gonna entice you with no candy. That unless they have the candy right there, they're not gonna be like, I have some candy in my truck. Come back to my truck. You better be like, nah, nigga, you better go get that candy out of your goddamn trunk. Come back here and then give me the candy to be on your way. You're gonna be like that shit. You're not gonna be enticed to go and check and be like, no. If you're not presenting it to me, if you're not showing me the value, the feminine side of Venus, if you're not showing me the value, I'm not gonna entertain it. Being in the fifth house. So that's how that will go. That's how you mentally organize your mind. This is how you allow the thing or things in your mind for you to entertain. Its functionality, what it provides you, what it's gonna do for you. And then with Virgo in your 10th house, this is crazy. So just like how I was saying before about perfecting these traditions that you really hold on to, you're really passionate about that, passionate about perfecting in general, or making sense out of things. This analytical mind that you have, it's not necessarily that you just take in information. You take in information for specific reasons. You because it's your moon and not just your sun. It's not just what you're paying attention to. This is the things that you draw in on your life. This is your true vibe. So your true vibe is this service oriented, this desire for perfection is your vibe. That is what you attract in your life. So you attract things that are going to challenge your boundaries, because Virgo and Aries are in conjunction, because it's 5 signs away. Whenever a sign is 5 signs away, that's an in conjunction. You probably know that. But yeah, so these boundaries may you may be misunderstood about things, or maybe misunderstanding of what you need to perfect to expand, to break out of these boundaries. You may fall into the thinking of it's this specific thing that you need to attain a lot of, that you may need to learn a lot, but it may not necessarily have to be those things. You're gonna have to balance that out, or really get in tune with that, with your path and what you're supposed to do, because you have a lot of planets in the 5th house even, and with this missing conjunction, the things that you go at may not necessarily be like, say, a career type thing. You may be more interested or be more willing to dive into these things that could perfectly provide you a career, but you're more motivated to do it for your own personal reasons, for your own individual desires, than to establish a career and get money for these things. How you got into these things was never about money. That wasn't why you got into these things and learned about them. But they could provide or make ends meet. So it's kind of like you have to channel that energy too, but you may not be able to see that because of that in conjunction, or it may be harder, or that's what that in conjunction would represent or play out in your life. So yeah, your Mars being there in Virgo, you're very passionate about those things that you are analyzing, that were emotionally drawn to you, the things that bring out that passion into you, things not making sense, when you see people being lost or wasting their time or putting time into things that aren't going to, you probably hate that. And those are the things that you attack. You attack all the things that are wasting your time. You don't give them a chance to breathe. That's where you're able to really raise your sword and kill. If they're wasting your time, if they're not making sense, or there's no thing against you, but now there's still that danger of you being deceived, or there's still that danger of maybe getting washed up under the current by misinterpreting energies and getting lost in your own natures. But you're not going to get lost in somebody trying to take your time away, or trying to get you to focus on something that you don't want to focus on. That's not what it's going to be. It's going to be the lies and deception. Somebody's going to have to trick your mind, or make you believe a specific thing is going to work out when it isn't in actuality. Make you believe in a specific structure with the 2nd house in Capricorn. That was never a structure in the first place, So with this apocalypse world type shit going on, how I would interpret it is, you may look at the things that are going on and, just logically try and see how you can fit yourself in it, or fit yourself in the role of this new world. You may get lost or having illusions that you may be trying to do in that, instead of completely abandoning all of that and, starting your own civilization village, or living on your own in the woods type shit. You know what I mean? It may be, they may deceive you into making you think that you could change, that you could add spiritual nature, that you won't be limited, that you can break out of this too and get you in and lock you up, or get you in a cage. You may not, because you have that fighting spirit, you may not, you may fall for the trap by acting too preemptively, by trying to attain perfection too much, or getting lost in trying to make things work out in a specific way, and not bailing out when things didn't feel right, not having that emotional connection, because that's what you're maybe missing, that that vibe. There's no water. so you don't know or necessarily have that connection. You wouldn't be able to tell right off the bat if somebody is lying. Like a Pisces, and this is where you need it, because the opposite of Virgo is Pisces. So this is the energy that you need to help balance yourself out, or how to balance your emotions. You need to really learn how to go with the flow. That is a huge lesson for you. And kind of when you dive into your south node, which is crazy because your north node is in Virgo, so your south node has to be in Pisces. So part of you is comfortable with that, or it's not too hard for you to go and to be in that state, for you to be able to pick up to the vibe. But you're just focused on everything else, because it's earth, that you have all of this heavy earth. That's why it's probably not hard for you to pick up the vibe, or for you to look at things in a more energetic sense, because you can understand that realm of reality, but you can't really but you're not swayed by it like everybody else. But diving into that energy is going to help save you, to show you truly what you need to perfect. These things may, it's on that type of energy where, like, say you were just putting basketball, or you were playing basketball your whole life. You may have put all of your time and effort into polishing your basketball skills, making sure that you're perfect, that your crossovers were perfect, you're breaking every nigga's ankles. Nobody can guard you. But maybe you weren't supposed to be a basketball player. If you put that energy into being a figure skater, you would have been so much more happy and felt so much more fulfilled in your life. But because you wanted perfection, you may have put that energy into something else. I don't know where figure skating came from. But yeah, it's a perfect example, Maybe something a little bit more graceful or a little bit more loose would have been a better way for you to express yourself. So determining what to perfect, really getting on that, is what's going to help you establish your career. You may be focusing on the wrong things, or think that your worth is in an area where more, or one area has more value than another, when it's really the other way around. You may think that because you spent so much time on your on this one thing, on this one project, you spent so much time trying to master speaking French or something like that, not realizing that little hobby you do of making taxidermy dolls is really what would help pay the bills type shit. It's that type of energy that you got going on in your 10th house. But once you do lock onto it, you're golden. You're secure in life, and it's going to fall around because Virgo represents health, because Virgo is perfection, and it's earth, it's practical, it's making sense out of things, it's the practicality after the fact. So it's longevity, it's health, and it's being able to keep up with things, and you're very passionate about that. So it's going to be, that is going to really be the main driver of your career, is health. And you're going to show it through your own body, because we're still in the individual signs. 1 to 6 is really, the personal signs, and then 7 to 12 is really the social signs. So you're transitioning into the social signs, but it's still more of a personal thing. So it's the health that you achieve in your body. It's the making sense, the experiments that you've done within your own body, the things that you've been through, is what's going to help you. It's like you're going to be a beacon for it. You're going to prove the things that you're talking about by being it, by showing it. And yeah, that's my interpretation of your chart, my guy. Here, I have this app. I think I showed it to you before, but I don't think you have an iPhone, so you wouldn't be able to get the app. But this app is cool. I use the other one because this one is whack. They had an update and they fucked up the house system. Like, the planets are probably still in the right houses. We see how they perfectly line up with each sign. Like, that's not right. Or like, that doesn't look right to me, or that doesn't make sense, because the house systems don't perfectly align like that. So it's confusing. That's why I use the other one. But here's the percentages of how much of element you got. Nigga, you got no water, my guy. You got none. Barely have air. You're not, oh my God. There's no in between. It's crazy. It's crazy. Very, very mutable, very changeable. Balance and in polarity. Pluto being a dominant. Interesting. Why is Sagittarius? It's probably the aspects to Sagittarius. Yeah. And I forgot the square. Even the square you have with your Pluto and your moon. And because it was in your subconscious too. Your Pluto was in the 12th house, so it would be in your subconscious too. You may not understand why people react to you the way they react to you, and it wouldn't make sense to you because you're not actively putting these things on your sleeve. You're not actively, you're not even probably talking to some people about your perspective on things, but yet they react to you the way they would if you did, type shit. And you may not understand that. That may be something that you would have to overcome or learn to adjust because of that square that you got going on. But yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it.